so much for joining us for this Chat with SME video. My name is Jennifer McFarland. I am the Content Marketing Manager at Learning Tree. Today, I am talking with Aljay de Guzman. He is our Director of Enterprise Infrastructure Solutions. And just recently, he has undertaken a giant project, which was in the last 2 weeks. He got our entire workforce remote ready, sort of in the wake of the COVID-19 coronavirus fears. So it's big. It's been a big undertaking for him. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So first of all, Aljay, thanks so much for talking to us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate being here.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the planning that went into this large scale remote work project?
So we have a work from home policy that only 50% of the employees use today. So we had to identify those 50% um, in the last 2 weeks and identify, one, if they're able to work from home currently. So if they're on a desktop or a laptop, we had to identify those types of things, and also ask, what type of things did they use. So like, talking about phones or headsets and those types of items. So in the last 2 weeks, we've been identifying that, procuring the right items. So we had to get some laptops. We had to ship some laptops over to our international op units, and kind of go that way. So it was heavy because that 50% was a good chunk of these core corporate users. So it was very a huge undertaking, but the job was done. Um, but
That's
yeah,
great.
yeah,
And also during this time, of course, at Learning Tree, we use Microsoft Teams quite a bit already. We've been using it organization wide for about 6 months. I love Teams personally. But I know in the last couple of weeks we've really been driving home the need to use Teams to keep in touch with your coworkers while everybody's working from home and everything like that. Can you tell me a little bit about Learning Tree's Teams setup?
sure. Yeah, so we set up Teams last year officially, but it was just a replacement for Skype for Business. So back a year ago, it was just for chat and audio conferencing. So in the last 2 weeks, and maybe before that, we've done a lot of work creating teams. I've seen a huge change of many people creating their own personal teams, and then as a corporate side of things, we also created our own teams, within offices, operating units, departments, from all employees to managers, you name it. That way, we have a line of communication while you're remote, but also in the office too. I work really closely with marketing and HR to kind of build those teams and channels so that, when the in the event we're all fully working from home, which is, I guess, the case right now. You can feel like you're in the office because you're on these virtual platforms, chatting with your colleagues and your boss or whatever to, make you feel like you're in the office. We have the ability in Teams that you can use memes and send videos and send, you know, some really cool chat. It's not just, hey, I'm here in the office. What do you need? Question, question, right? It's try to make it more modern, interactive. That way, let's say we're stuck, not, God helping not, but we're stuck there for like 8 weeks or something. This will kind of liven up your workplace while you're working
Right,
from home,
right.
right? So,
And that social aspect of it, the employee engagement part of Teams, I think just personally from what I see, that's sort of that goes hand in hands with the work capabilities of it. But the employee engagement and social side of it, I think really helps to help people adopt a little faster, sort of get up to
absolutely.
speed, you know, have a little fun with it, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. The direction that I was trying to take for the organization was to use Office 365 a bit more, from using like Outlook and SharePoint online, but since with Teams, that integrates everything in one too. So, having
Right.
their presence known and having to share files and everything all in one spot. And, I like Teams too, right? But having the ability to create these applications and integrate with other applications outside of Microsoft, it's really nice to have everything all in one place.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a huge thing, and I think it's just going to be it's going to be a rough start at first, especially for those 50% of the employees. But I think once they get the hang of things, and they have their process, it's going to be a change in culture, a change of working. You know, they're going to find that it's going to be a really nifty tool to use.
Yeah. That's great. So I know that probably there's a lot of IT teams across the world who are gearing up for a similar challenge that you just went through, enabling their workforces to work more remotely. What advice would you have for those IT teams that are facing this remote work challenge?
Couple of things. The first thing would be security. There is a security guideline. There is a NIST security guideline for working from home. I would, try to follow those guidelines as much as possible. And I'm sure every organization has their own security policies, but there is this framework where you can follow. So in the event where you do have this policy to work from home, which is now the case, make sure that you have the proper security measures from, working from home, having secure location, making sure you're on the VPN, making sure your lines are not crossed between, neighbors or something, that type of security on a physical layer, but then also making sure that you have you're encrypted and your password is super strong. Those are the type of things that will help you secure your remote remote from home workplace secure. Um, but yes, there is a guideline out there. I would recommend following that as a security precaution since a lot of people are working from home now. And, I'm sure attackers are hackers and, all those malicious activity is potentially going to target those at home.
Sure.
The second thing is, utilize your vendors, your partners. I'm sure every company's worked with a reseller or a some type of cloud provider or whatever that may be that are also aware of the COVID-19, but you can ask for certain tools for a specific period. I know that Microsoft's offering E1 licenses for Office 365 to push for free Teams conferencing collaboration for 6 months. I believe that's rolled out. Then also, there are Cisco security products that they're, letting new customers and current customers use to protect their remote employees from, you know, URL filtering to multi-factor authentication to everything, antivirus, you name it. So there are some free things you can ask for a period of time during this period of working from home. But also that's also an advantage as a IT manager director of trying out these new tools if you haven't yet. And then also making sure you have fast internet.
Right.
Those are the couple 3 things I think that'll be.
Yeah. Yeah. And having those conversations with every single employee to make sure that they have fast internet and they have the resources that they need. It's quite an undertaking.
Yeah, yes,
Right.
very much.
Very
But
good.
yeah, it was
Well, I really, really appreciate you talking with us today about this. And of course, I appreciate all of your work for Learning Tree, getting all of my coworkers up to speed on
yeah,
the remote work and Microsoft Teams.
yep,
For our viewers here, if you are interested in learning more about Teams, how it can foster communication within your organization, I wanted to invite you all to one of our upcoming webinars at Learning Tree. Thursday, April 9th, one of our instructors, Martin Baker, he is a Microsoft certified instructor. He will be presenting a webinar called Integrating Microsoft Teams and SharePoint. So this is all about integrating Microsoft Teams into your organization to improve communication, integrating Microsoft with your existing SharePoint sites, that kind of thing. I'm definitely going to be signing up for it. Really excited about it. Encourage everybody to. You can go to learningtree.com/webinars to sign up, or you can just get the link in the YouTube description below here. So definitely sign up for that. And Aljay, one more time, thank you so much. And of
Yeah,
course, I'll be
thank you.
seeing you on Teams.
All right. See you later.